and welcome back to the Lockwood Chronicles. My name is Larissa, and today we are going over my quarter 3 reading stats. It's another quarter down. Quarter 3 has wrapped up and we are headed into quarter 4. I do this every quarter. We go over how many books I read that quarter and how many pages, average ratings, the format, all of the good stuff, as well as where I'm at annually. Oh, it's just so exciting, and I just love graphs. I love stats, and I just think it's so fun to just track. And I have been using just this good old notebook that my bestie gave me. I have tried other reading journals in the past and they're so fun and they're great. I couldn't be bothered to take the time and I kept falling behind, and it became more of a stressful thing for me. So now I keep it really short, sweet, and simple. I also track like synopses and stuff on my Notion page. I also have like a Google sheet that puts everything into what I need it to, and then also on paper, and it just became too much all over the place when I just really needed certain things in certain spots. Very basic setup. I keep track of all of my reads here, and then I break down into quarters as well as months. So that's quarter 2 and then the months that follow there. And then now we are in quarter 3. Again, very simple design, and I love it, and it makes me so happy. This quarter I read 26 books total, which is awesome. Like monthly, my goal is to read like either 4 or 5 books depending upon the month, and I definitely exceeded that. So I averaged 8.6 books a month. The number of pages that I read in quarter 3 were 12,134, and my average rating was 3.73, which is phenomenal. That means I have generally really liked most of the books that I read. The format of the book that I read were the physical book, 12 of those. I listened to 7 audiobooks, and I read 7 digital books. And I do foresee that number increasing now that I have Kindle Unlimited, and I have just been kind of trending towards my Kindle Girl era, and I'm here for it. It's so comfortable to hold, and I have a kickstand on my cover, so I can just prop it up while I'm eating and read, and I absolutely love that. Also the fact that like I don't need to turn on a light to read. It backlights, and I love that. I love my Kindle. But I also love physical books, obviously, but I am trying to be more selective with the books that I do allow to take up space in my little library here. Whole quarter. And you would see in my previous reading vlogs how much I have gone back and forth with do I keep or should I get rid of or unsubscribe to Kindle Unlimited, and right now I am keeping it. Because there's so many good books on there, and as a mood reader, that is key. But I still have my TBR shelves that are fairly full, and I would like to get those down. I read from 3 male authors and 23 female authors. My genre breakdowns. So these are a little odd. So I do romance, general, fantasy, historical, YA, thriller, and nonfiction. For fantasy, that encompasses a lot. That encompasses any sort of magic system, or so general, like regular good old fantasy with magic and all of that, or magical realism. So a lot of stuff does overlap. I like to keep my genres that condensed because there's so many different types of genre, and thrillers and horror go in the same one as well, or like suspense. Romance, I read 11 books. No surprise there. I am a heavy romance reader. General books, so general fiction, 3, and fantasy, 6. Again, not a surprise. I'm very much like a romance and fantasy reader right now. Historical, 1. What was that one? I'll have to look. And then YA, 0, mainly because the 2 YA books that I read, I did not classify them as YA because I didn't think that they fit that genre well. Thriller, 2. And nonfiction, 3. So my nonfiction went down quite a bit. What was my historical? Do we remember? Okay, I put Belladonna in historical. Yeah, I guess I can stay there. That's considered a YA and kind of has fantasy elements to it. We'll stick it with historical, it's fine. All right, my least favorite read of the quarter is She Started It. For a thriller, I didn't find it thrilling. It was entertaining. It was okay. Like, I didn't dislike it, but it was definitely my least favorite read of the quarter. For the thrillers that I uphold to, like The Silent Patient and The One and Rock, Paper, Scissors, those are tough to beat, and that's what I compare them to, are those my three favorite thrillers. Unfortunately, it just didn't like meet that criteria for me. It was a good introductory to a thriller if you like don't like to be super spooked out. My favorite read of the quarter, this was a tough one because I had two 5-star reads, which is odd. You can tell I have been trying to limit my 5 stars to just like my ultimate favorites. Both of those were Fourth Wing and Magnolia Parks. And I ended up going with Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. And it was just so fun. I love the aesthetics of the whole book itself. It's beautiful. It was just so captivating, and I just really, really was in it. Whereas Magnolia Parks was just very heart-wrenching for me and relatable to me, unfortunately. I just had a good time reading Fourth Wing, and also the fact that after the book finished, I'm like, I want to get a tattoo. I want to get a Fourth Wing tattoo. I did not. I actually don't want a tattoo, another tattoo. I ended up getting a sweatshirt from it. I had to. I just like loved this book so, so much. So that is my favorite of the quarter. My favorite nonfiction was Paris, the Memoir by Paris Hilton. And it was very nostalgic for me because I lived during that time. I remember the headlines. I remember all of these really big things and the narrative that the media spun about Paris and Britney, and all of them were horrible, even like Lindsay Lohan. It was tough to be a young female in the early 2000s. It's tough to be a female at any time, but the media just really came after all of these women, and like looking back at it, I'm like, wow, they really spun that narrative, and the actual reasoning and like what Paris was actually going through at that time was horrible. It was traumatizing, and it was great to get some clarification on that. Then let's get into my totals so far. I had to up my Goodreads goal because I hit 50 books easy peasy lemon squeezy for the year. So I upped it, I think, to 100, and so far the total books that I have read this year is 81, which is wild. So I definitely can reach that goal. The number of pages that I've read so far is 32,636 pages, and my average rating so far this year has been a 3.84, which is, again, I'm a high rater. I am trying to be more discerning. I definitely bump up my ratings, but upon reflection, they should be rated a little bit lower, but it doesn't matter because it's my system. My formats for the way I've consumed books have been physical books, 49, audiobooks 17, and digital books 15. So that's honestly surprising that my digital books are still so low. But again, I have a feeling that will change for this last quarter of the year, but physical books are always going to be the top. My authors have been, I've read from 8 male authors and 73 female authors. We support women here. And then genres, I've read romance 37, historical fiction 3, nonfiction 10, fantasy 13, YA 6, thrillers 4, and read 8 general. Yeah, so all in all, it was a great quarter 3 and obviously still a great year, and we are going to finish out there, I feel like, pretty strong in quarter 4. Some goals that I have: read 15 books. Actually, no, I'm gonna up it. We're gonna up it to 20 books. That way 101 books. That's crazy. So my goal is to read 20 books this quarter, 5 a month. Nope. That was so sad to see that. About 7 a month this last quarter. Yeah, I would like to get some more series done, as well as most of my physical TBR read. It would be really great if at least 12 of the books, I'll say, from my physical TBR. Those are my goals. I'm excited to finish off the year with you guys. And keep tuning in for reading vlogs and all other book related content. How was your quarter? Comment down below what your favorite book of the quarter was. So between July, August, and September. I would love to know that. With that being said, respect others, respect yourself, and do something amazing with your day. Thanks. Bye.